Well, Al Jazeera's Zein Basravi joins us on the phone now from the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Zein, so the Ukrainians are saying this was a Russian drone strike on this bus in the Sumy region. What more can you tell us, Zein?
That is correct. This attack took place in a town called Bilopillya. It is on the border with Russia, and the bus was moving from this town to Sumy city this morning when it was struck by what Ukrainian officials are describing as a Russian Lancet drone. Now, the national police have reported 9 killed, 4 injured. Rescue work was underway this morning, and police are treating this like a crime scene. They say they are there collecting evidence of what they describe as a deliberate strike on a passenger bus carrying civilians. One police official saying this was disregarding and an open violation of, quote, all norms of international law and humanity. Now, this part of the country, Sumy region, has seen some major attacks in recent months. We've seen Ukraine ordering evacuations in parts of the region closest to the Russian border, and those areas that they said were under imminent threat of some sort of Russian attack. Bilopillya straddles that part of the border there, and the attack is easily the largest death toll we've seen in some days, at least since the talks began, since ceasefire talks gained momentum with European leaders visiting Kyiv and these talks happening in Turkey. And this is perhaps in recent days the clearest example of the targeting of civilians, a bus, public transport, hit by a drone early on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, Zein, as we're talking to you, we're seeing pictures on our screens of the bus after that drone strike. I mean, this latest attack comes, as you say, both sides have been discussing peace talks and prisoner swaps.
That is correct. Perhaps the positive glimmer of hope from these talks was this expected 1,000 for 1,000 exchange of prisoners being held by both sides, possibly the only positive to come out of the meetings. It would be the largest exchange of people we've seen so far in this war. On Friday, there was also a report from Ukraine that it had gotten back the bodies of 909 Ukrainian soldiers that were killed in combat. So there is momentum in these talks, but it has to be said, Ukraine and Russia have been good about exchanging prisoners, and these prisoner swaps and swaps of the remains of their people has been a fixed part of this conflict throughout the past few years. It's something that they have been able to cooperate on relatively successfully. But we have to look back at something that Russian presidential aide Vladimir Medinsky, who was the head of the Russian delegation, said during the talks. He concluded the talks in Turkey on Friday with one very clear message: Russia is ready to continue the war for years, and that war should be happening at the same time as negotiations. Russia has no problem in conducting the war at the same time, simultaneously as it continues to try to hold talks, and that is exactly what they have done. Ukrainians will point out and say that this is an indication that Russia has no desire to continue peace talks or to actually end this war. Over the past 24 hours, we saw Ukraine reporting 145 combat engagements near the front lines, especially on the eastern front near Pokrovsk, an area that Russian troops have been trying to envelop and take over for some time, creating a bridgehead and going further in. So we see this continued theme from the Russian side of saying that they do want talks, but continuing to take actions on the ground that only prolong the war.
All right, Al Jazeera's Zein Basravi live for us there in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Zein, thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.